So today I'm going to do something that many people had asked me before. This is the tour of my backyard, just to lay out how we are growing different kinds of trees here in the desert of Arizona. And this is middle of June, so the temperatures this week are 115 to 120 degrees Fahrenheit almost every day of the week. Nighttime temperatures are going down only till 90s, so it's pretty hot and sunny almost through the entire day, and even in the night it's pretty hot. So even with that, you can grow a variety of fruits and vegetables, like what we've been doing, and this is something that anyone can do. You don't need any special skills or knowledge. If you start reading about it and apply your common sense, you will start learning pretty quickly. So let me show you what's the layout of my yard. So my yard faces south, and this direction in front right now is north. So this direction is north, this is east, and this is west. So as you can see, this is about 11 o'clock in the morning, and the yard is completely in full Arizona sunlight, which is extremely hot. Right now the temperature is about 110 degrees Fahrenheit probably, and the sun is shining on this wall, which is this block wall which is facing south. So it's getting full sun through the entire day from morning till evening. So what I have done here is I have this pool, which is pretty important here in Arizona. It's a nice thing to have, and all around the pool I have used every inch of area that I have to grow edible fruits and vegetables. So in this particular corner, which is the north west corner of my yard, so I have this small patch where I'm growing sugarcane. I have some sorghum as well as some okra growing below it, and since all these plants take full sun and they need full sun, I have planted all of them all around this block wall. This particular area is also providing shade to this kumquat tree, which is right behind this shade cloth. So it's a Miwa kumquat. It does take sun, but especially in the months of summer here in Arizona, that is too much of a harsh sun. So I have built this simple shade with burlap and shade cloth, and behind that shade kumquat is enjoying filtered sun. What's important that I have realized here in Arizona is if you have a sensitive tree or a plant which doesn't like full sun, it's not the sun that is the problem, it is the UV rays from the sun and the intense sun in Arizona that is the problem. That's what burns off the leaves and the trees, and you can easily see that as you start growing some sensitive plants in full sun. So this kumquat that is growing in the shade with this structure that I have created, that structure will come off after the month of September, and then from October through March or April it will grow in full sun, but at least the temperatures are lower. Next to the kumquat, I have this vegetable patch, and there is this arbor on which I am growing manuka grapes. The vegetable patch has some capsicum, it has some chilies, and it also has some okra and some eggplants growing. All of these need full sun, and they do extremely well in our Arizona full sun. You will get plenty of production from the chilies, the eggplants almost through the entire year if you plant it in full sun in Arizona. And as you see here behind the pool, the space I have is about probably no more than 3 to 4 feet in width, but that's plenty to grow all these. Next to that arbor and the chilies, I have this bush that is leaning towards the swimming pool, and that's a Barbados cherry bush. You can see the video up here of how to grow Barbados cherries. It's extremely productive plant here in Arizona, and it will produce from March all the way through June, July, and it will produce these small wonderful cherries which are different than the typical cherries you would buy in the stores, but they are extremely flavorful. They are little sweet and tangy at the same time. Next to the Barbados cherry, you have this big bush slash tree, which is the curry leaf tree, one of the easiest things to grow in Arizona. It started as a small 1-gallon plant, and you can see the video of that, and it grows really well. It's a great microclimate builder because next to the curry leaf I have a small guava and then another curry leaf, and then I have this ivy gourd and this vine, which is two sets of grape vines. One is Tomcod, which are blue, and one is flame seedless, and they are growing all along the pool fence. Although it's a wrought iron fence, they do well. The grapes do well, extremely well here in Arizona. And as you see here, they start ripening in the month of June and July, and the vine is loaded with these grapes, and after a couple of years you get upwards of 40 or 50-pound grapes easily if you grow them in full sun, and they become extremely sweet as you start maturing the grapevine. And then on the other side of the fence, I have these heat loving, sun loving plants. So starting off with this white guava. The white guava is extremely fragrant and extremely flavorful. It starts flowering in spring and then starts fruiting in the month of May, June, and the fruit should be ready by August. And it's loaded with these guavas. They start producing at early age, but if you give them 2-3 years, the fruits will become bigger and more flavorful. Next to the guava, I have this black mission fig, which I prune and keep it small by pruning it in winter. And next to the black mission fig, I have these two pink guavas. One of them is Tikal and one of them is Ruby Supreme guavas. I have let them grow to about 10-11 feet in height. That way the mission fig, the black mission fig bush does not smother them. And as you see here, since they are, even if they are planted close to each other, they have been fruiting and flowering very vigorously. So we get about 70 to 80 fruits from each of these guava trees, and they do really well in our Arizona sun. They do require Arizona sun. One thing I have done is given them plenty of compost and mulch on the top to keep the root zone shaded from the sunlight. One thing I have learned over last 4 years is even if you plant them directly in native soil, having compost and mulch on the top is what helps the trees. You don't need to dig deep, or you don't need to amend the soil heavily for trees or bushes which actually grow well in our Arizona sunlight. And I do water them once a week, and as you see here, each of my tree is adjacent to it, adjacent to the other tree, almost touching each other. When I had started this 4 years ago, each of them was probably no more than a foot or 2 feet in height. They were either 1 gallon or 3 gallon plants, but they have grown really well over last 4 years, and now they have merged the canopies into each other. But what I noticed is many of these tropical trees like guavas, the Barbados cherries, or mangoes for that matter, they love the company of the trees around it, and it shades them in peak summer. At least the trunk gets shaded, and then in winter the tropical or the sensitive trees do get protection from each other, especially if you plant them very close to each other. So don't be afraid to plant these trees close to each other. As long as you keep in mind their final size and maintain the size, you can plant them very next to each other and you get much more productive growth in limited space. So if you look here, the rest of my yard has hardscape, artificial turf and pavers, and there is plenty of area all around to explore the yard, but the trees are tucked away all around the edges. That way it doesn't look messy, and it blocks the radiated heat from the walls, and which makes it very easy to even sit in the yard even in peak summers here in Arizona, which is extremely difficult otherwise. Next to this guava, I have these two pomegranate trees or bushes. They have grown quite a well. They have grown to about 10-11 feet now. I do prune them in winter, but they grow very vigorously and easily here. And the first one here is wonderful palm variety. The second one is the Ariana variety, and you can see both of them are loaded with fruits, and after about 3 years or so the fruit size becomes much bigger, and this will grow to probably triple this size by the month of November, which is when you typically harvest pomegranates here in Arizona. Next to the pomegranate, I have some sensitive trees, mainly the Alfonso mango, as well as I have a Kent mango. So the guava bush produces a very good vegetation and protects the sensitive trees, especially here in Arizona, from the sun. So what I have done behind the pomegranate is I have this Kent mango, which is holding the fruit for the very first time. It started as a 3-gallon plant, and now we have our first mango here in Arizona, which is very rare and not an easy feat to achieve. But since it's getting this filtered sun through the entire day, as you see, I have not protected it with any shade cloth or anything. It does really well, given the fact that it's very close to this pomegranate bush, and there are plenty of bees all around because of the pomegranate bush throughout the entire year. Next to the Kent mango, I have this sugarcane patch, which I just harvested few stalks, and the new stalks are emerging from the soil. The reason I have sugarcane here is because behind that I have this gold kissed apricot tree, which was planted a year ago as a bare root, and since it's in the hottest part of the yard, what I wanted to do was protect it from the reflected heat from the wall since it's very young. And the pomegranate as well as the mulberry bush on this side do a wonderful job of keeping this wall not exposed to the sun. Right now it's about 11 o'clock, is getting plenty of sun, but it's not burning. So next to this Kent mango and the apricot, behind this umbrella, which essentially creates a nice microclimate for sensitive plants, but it does give sun and sunlight. It just protects the plants from getting 90% of the UV rays, which is what is important in my experience in Arizona, to prevent the UV rays from hitting the young plants, otherwise their cells will die off. So if you see here, this particular Alfonso mango, which is the next tree we are talking about, it's in the soil for about 3 years now. It is growing in full sun. As you see here, it's about 12 o'clock now, and it has plenty of sunlight. It's getting almost 10-12 hours of sun even in the peak summer. However, because of this vegetation around it, which creates a little bit of humidity, as well as this mulberry bush, which makes the microclimate more tolerable to a sensitive plant like an Alfonso mango, and this umbrella which prevents 90% of the UV rays from hitting the plant, and then this microclimate created by the pomegranate bush. The mango here is growing very happily. In fact, it's its third year in the ground, started as a 3-gallon plant, and you can see the trunk has sized up significantly. The leaves look healthy. I had planted it in native soil with compost and mulch only on the top, and this is the second year that it's holding fruit now. It will grow to the proper size and get ready for harvesting probably by the month of August. So this year it's holding 3 good size Alfonso mangoes. So yes, you can grow Alfonso mango here with few tricks that I just described, but it's not that difficult if you provide the right microclimate, plenty of sunlight, and take care of the soil. One note in my experience is do not plant mangoes in amended soil with compost. It will definitely rot over a period of years, and eventually after 3 years or so the mango will die its slow death in Arizona. And what I have learned in my experience is the compost is always a hot composting process. It never finishes up even if you have finished compost, especially in the peak summers when the soil temperatures reach upwards of 100 510 degrees Fahrenheit. With the scorching sunlight, the roots easily burn off and get rotten if you plant the mango tree in composted soil, or if you amend it with compost. So what I do is I put compost and mulch only on the top, and most of the soil is only amended for drainage, but our native clay soil does the best. And you can plant and create microclimate around it. So this mulberry bush, which is now close to 15 feet in peak summer, I intentionally let it grow, provide an excellent microclimate in that corner, which is the hottest, one of the hottest parts of the yard, but it prevents the sunlight from hitting the wall, and therefore it creates reduction in temperature, as well as prevents radiated heat and creates some humidity for the sensitive plants around it. And mulberry does really well. It's in full sun. You want to grow it in full sun. It's an excellent microclimate builder and produces vigorously here in Arizona. One of the easiest trees to grow here. Next to the mulberry and Alfonso mango, I have this peach tree. This is the Florida Prince peach, and it does produce about couple of hundred peaches every year. It's I think about third year in the ground. Started as a small bare root tree 3 years ago, and in front of the peach tree I have this Fuyu persimmon tree, also started as a bare root tree from Costco. It does flower since last year, but I don't think it's going to fruit for another couple of years. But I have learned about persimmon in Arizona is if you give it the right microclimate, such as the one provided here with this mulberry and the peach tree, it does do really well in native soil. We'll see when it fruits, but peach tree at least is providing its protection, as well as peach tree is very productive here in Arizona. Between the peach tree and the mulberry bush, I have this small bush looking citrus. This was a blood orange that I got from a local nursery about 3 years ago. The tree is very healthy. It does flower vigorously every spring. It has not held any fruit yet, although they do convert. So we will see when they fruit, but I heard blood oranges take much longer to start holding the fruit. But if you look at the shape and the size and the health of the tree, as well as the color of the leaves, they look very healthy. And that's one thing I have realized for citruses here in Arizona. If you provide shade, or at least the microclimate with these other trees around them, they do much better and not burn off in our sun. Moving on, if you see here the yard from this side, this is in full sun, but because of these trees all around the yard, it makes it much more tolerable even in peak summer. So on this side of the fig tree, so now we are going towards the west wall, all this is west wall, and then this is the eastern part which is shaded by the house primarily, and then I have added couple of umbrellas which are primarily for preventing the UV from hitting the young leaves of these plants, because most of these are 2-3 year old plants, and that seems to have made wonders this year. They get full sun even under the umbrella, but it cuts off 90% of the UV rays. So on this side of the mulberry bush, I have this small Cadota fig which I planted this winter. So this should grow very easily here. It takes full sun. Next to that, I have these rose bushes, and then this second apricot tree which is Katy apricot. It does take full sun as long as you provide plenty of mulch and compost on the top of the soil, not inside the soil. And then as we go towards this east part of the yard, I have planted this hedge of 3 apples here, and this is golden Dorset, Anna, and ghost apple. As you see, even the young trees can hold the fruits. I am not thinning them. The fruits are delicious, and the tree will grow slowly since they have planted close to each other, but I will prune them and keep them small. This is second year in ground, and they do well even in the limited space. On this side, I have a small Miwa kumquat that I planted this year, and it does take our sun, but if you provide half day protection at least, in this case with the house, shading it after 1 o'clock or so, they do much better, and they don't need a lot of space. You can plant it close to the wall. It's more like a small shrub, the Miwa kumquat or kumquat. Next to the apples, I have this dwarf Trovita orange, one of the best citruses to grow in my experience. The fruit is very sweet. It also is the main variety for what commercially they call AZ sweet orange. Next to that orange, I have this small bush looking tree which is a Chiku sapote. It does flower here in Arizona. I am not sure if it will ever fruit, but eventually maybe it will fruit. I am shading it with this shade cloth which does help, but it does take full sun otherwise. And all around this ground cover that you see, this was a small bare root cutting of a boysenberry that I had planted 2 years ago on that side of the yard, and now it has taken over the entire yard on the ground cover, which I don't mind. It's an excellent protection for the soil, and it gets these very sweet juicy berries, and the boysenberries are unique in that sense. Next to the boysenberry, the Chiku sapote plant, I have this ruby red grapefruit. It's a dwarf variety, and then next to that I have a seedling Manila mango. You can see it's planted within couple of feet or maybe even under a foot of each other. Next to that I have this another grafted mango. It's a Kesar mango planted as a 3-gallon couple of years ago, and it's already holding 2 fruits this year. This is the first time that's holding the fruit, and as you see, the Kesar mango is doing really well. And this Kesar mango was started as a 3-gallon plant a year and a half ago. Next to that, I have this small seedling mango. It's a Bailey's Marvel seedling mango. As you can see, the boysenberry ground cover has completely surrounded the trunk, which is a great protection for it. And next to that, I have this Bramkai Mia mango, which is an excellent variety. It has not fruited yet. This year, one thing I have done is I have put these umbrellas for shading these mangoes, as well as young citrus tree, which is a Macetera citrus here, and then banana, and even the young peach and the plums. the UV protection is really helping from these umbrellas for all the trees. So next to this mango patch, I have this Macetera orange planted in the native soil with mulch on the top, surrounded by this June plum and another grafted mango called Coxhal, and it has these new leaves coming up since I did not protect the last couple of years. This year, with the shade provided by these umbrellas, it has made a huge difference. Next to that is this Winter's mango, it's another seedling mango. Then banana, guava, surrounded by the passion fruit on the vine, and I have built this structure just with the hawk panels, and that seems to work really well. These two passion fruits here, and then they are climbing on this particular trellis, and as you see, in the month of June they start to shrivel up and they will ripen, hopefully probably in few weeks now. And they started as small 1-gallon plants, and then here in the end there is a small citrus, it's a dwarf citrus, it's a tango mandarin. Then there is lemongrass and vetiver grass patch here, which gives protection for these guavas from this reflected heat from this window. So as you see here, my side yard is facing east, is getting protected from the sun in the afternoon about 1 o'clock in summer, and is barely getting any sun damage because of these 90% UV protected umbrellas that is providing an excellent microclimate. In limited space, I'm also growing these small trees here. This particular one is VDB, Violet de Bordeaux fig, supposed to stay small, and I will keep it small, hence is planted close to the house. Next to that is this beauty plum, which does really well here. It was planted, and you can see the video here, it was planted in December Beirut season in 2020-2021. Next to that is this May Pride peach, surrounded by the plum, which is a Methley plum, and then a Fukushu kumquat and a desert willow tree. So as you see, my yard is relatively small compared to an acre worth of property, but you can easily plant, if you do it right, about 80 to 90 trees, each of them within a foot of each other, and they do really well, will produce lots of fruits and vegetables, and you can really enjoy the gardening experience even in the limited space. So just to wrap up, there are 4 things that I have learned in growing and setting up the yard for being productive in Arizona. First and foremost is selecting the right location for the trees. That's one thing you cannot change later on, it's very tough. So select the trees which take full sun in the location of the full sun, and select the trees which are more sensitive and give them microclimate and put them where they get at least 6 to 8 hours of filtered sun, but do not plant them in the shade. No tree will grow in the shade here in Arizona. It will not produce if it survives. So for it to fruit, you do need sun. The second most important thing is, once you lay out the yard, make sure you water with hose or watering system that works the best. I do water with hose once a week, and that's okay even in peak summers. And then the third thing is compost and mulch only on the top, minimum amendment in the soil except for drainage. That goes long way. And then the fourth and the most interesting thing I have learned is plant the trees closer to each other. They do like each other's company. They do protect each other from sun, as well as in winter they keep each other warm, especially the tropical trees, and they will figure out and share the resources. I have not seen any loss in productivity. In fact, you will get much more fruit and vegetable production if you plant them closer, since you can pack many more trees and create an excellent microclimate in your backyard. So there you go. I'll put an update to this maybe another 6 months later.